If you're a recording artist in 2022, then you know how important it is to always have new music and new content. But it can definitely be challenging to always be able to book studio time. And more than likely, depending on where you live, that can add up pretty quick and get pretty expensive. That's why today I'm going to be breaking down the best home recording setup for any budget. I'll be going over some recommendations for the basic gear you need to record, that being a microphone and an audio interface. For this video, I'm already assuming you have a computer. I also want to let you know that I'm not sponsored by any of these brands or companies. And all the gear that I'll mention is just a recommendation that I would give to artists starting out or people who don't know what to buy for their home recording setup. However, I still recommend that you do your own research and try to find the gear that you think will work best for you. But this is just a recommendation if you don't know where to start. All the gear that I will be mentioning today will be linked in the description. Now I'm going to be breaking it down into 3 different tiers. Tier 1 is for a low budget. So maybe you're just getting started and you don't have the budget to drop $5,000 to $10,000 on a full-blown recording setup. Or maybe you're just trying to figure out if music is right for you and you don't want to spend a bunch of money to figure that out. If that describes you, then you're definitely in tier 1. Tier 2 is for a medium budget. You'll know that this tier is for you if you've made up your mind that you're 100% going for music and you're willing to invest your money into your craft. But maybe you're still on a leaner budget, but you're still able to drop $800 to $1,200 depending on what gear you go with. And finally, tier 3 is for those of you without any budget restrictions, but you're just not sure exactly what gear you should get. I can definitely help you out with some recommendations. You can go ahead and jump to whichever tier you think best suits you, or you can watch the whole thing and mix and match gear from each tier. So after I walk through all 3 tiers, I'm going to go ahead and break down a few more things that you're absolutely going to need for your home recording setup. Obviously, to record your vocals, you're going to need a microphone. For the low budget tier, I'm going to recommend the Audio-Technica AT2020. This is a $99 condenser microphone. This should fit in basically anybody's budget and will allow you to start recording from home. I will say though that if you're on the low budget tier, you need to manage your expectations. This will not sound like a $10,000 mic in $1 million studio. It just won't. What it will allow you to do is record from home inexpensively right now. And what I would recommend if you have a smaller budget is get the gear you can, start working on your music and your brand as soon as possible, then invest more money later and upgrade when you can. That way you can get started now and you don't have to wait until you have a bigger budget. With social media nowadays too, you might record a hit song on your 99 condenser microphone and blow up on TikTok. Then before you know it, you'll have the budget to buy all the gear that you want. That's why I recommend if you have a low budget, just buy the gear you can and get started now so that you can start your career. The key is to start now. Next, you're going to need to connect your microphone to your computer. To do this, you'll need an audio interface. For tier 1, I would recommend the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. This is the very first interface I ever bought and it served me well for years. I never had any issues with it. It's super easy to use. You basically just plug it in and go. Again, it won't sound like $1 million studio, but currently it's only $119.99 US plus tax. Both that mic and that interface will get you recording your vocals at home for $218.99 US plus tax. That is really cheap compared to consistently booking studio time. For tier 2, I would recommend the Shure SM7B. This microphone is perfect for recording at home. Michael Jackson actually recorded the Thriller album with it. So if it's good enough for Michael Jackson, then it will definitely work in your home recording setup. The only drawback to this mic is it has a really quiet signal, so you'll actually need to buy a device called a cloud lifter, which boosts the signal. But you can get both the microphone and the cloud lifter in a bundle. You can get the SM7B, the cloud lifter, and cables in a bundle for $599.99 US plus tax. Now this is a good bit more than the tier 1 mic, but it'll deliver industry standard quality at home. One of the most important things for your brand as an artist is to have better sounding music than the masses. So investing in quality gear will help ensure that you have a great sound. However, you can have expensive gear and not use it correctly, causing you to have a not so great sound. So if you're going to invest the money into buying more expensive equipment, then you should also invest time learning how to use it properly. For the tier 2 interface, I would recommend the Universal Audio Apollo Solo. This interface is a good bit more than the tier 1 interface. This interface comes in at $499 US plus tax, but it's still a huge bang for your buck. It has near zero latency, which means there'll be no lag when you're recording your vocals. It also has class-leading A to D and D to A converters. If you don't already know, a converter basically just takes your analog signal from your microphone and converts it into a digital waveform inside of your computer. These 2 options would equal out to $1,098.99 US plus tax. This is definitely a larger investment, but you'd have everything you need to record industry quality vocals straight from home. This would ultimately save you money and time as well. You wouldn't have to constantly be booking studio time, allowing you to make music whenever you want, leading to a better career long term. For the tier 3 mic, I'm going to go ahead and list the Neumann U87. Artists from the Beatles, Beyonce, Future, Young Thug have used it. There's pictures of Ed Sheeran using it online. Most famous studios have a U87 in their microphone collection, so there's a really good chance your favorite artist has recorded on a U87. The U87 has been dubbed the world's most famous microphone, for good reason. The build quality and sound quality are top notch. I've tracked artists on this microphone myself, and I can say the sound is super rich and full. It works perfect for pop, R&B, country, rap. Basically any genre of music you make will work well with the U87. Now this comes at a price, of course, $3,695 US plus tax. This is a pretty big price tag, but if you don't have any constraint on your budget and you want the best of the best, then the U87 will be a top-notch choice for your home recording setup. For the tier 3 interface, I would recommend the Universal Audio Apollo Twin X. This is the interface I've been using for a little over a year now, and it has served me extremely well. The jump from my very first Focusrite interface to the Universal Audio interface was a huge, drastic difference. It comes in right now at $999 US plus tax. This interface has near zero latency, has Class A D to A and A to D converters, which, like I mentioned before, a converter basically just takes your analog signal of your microphone, turns it into a digital waveform inside your computer. standard. I would definitely highly recommend this interface. If you go with the U87 and the Apollo Twin X, then that would run you $4,694 US plus tax. So now that I've gone over the 3 tiers, I'm gonna go ahead and run through a few things that you're gonna need for your recording setup no matter what tier you're in. The first one would be your DAW, or digital audio workstation. This is the software you use to record your vocals into. I would personally recommend Pro Tools, as this is the standard in the music industry. Pro Tools recently switched over to a subscription model, so you can actually get it pretty cheap. It starts out at $9.99 a month for the very basic version of Pro Tools. They also have an upgraded subscription for $31.99 a month, which I personally use along with a lot of other professionals in the music industry. There also are a lot of free options while recording, but I personally recommend Pro Tools because if you were ever to send your song out to get mixed and mastered, more than likely your engineer will be using Pro Tools. Most people in the music industry use Pro Tools, so it's very easy to collaborate. Also, if you're gonna go ahead and invest in all the gear you need to record, I would highly recommend just going ahead and investing in top-notch recording software. This will make your life way easier in the long run. You're also gonna need headphones to record with, but if you already have a pair of headphones that you like, you can go ahead and use them. You'll also need an XLR cable to go from the microphone into the interface. You can get them pretty cheap, starting around like 15 bucks at any local guitar center, or if you want to invest in higher quality cables, if you have a bigger budget, you definitely can. You're also going to want to buy a mic stand. I would recommend spending a little bit more money on a better quality mic stand so your microphone isn't falling over and breaking. That would suck. You're also going to want to go ahead and buy a pop filter. Pop filter basically just helps filter out any pops and clicks you may have while you're recording your vocals. This will help you get a cleaner vocal recording. If this video was helpful to you at all, definitely go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. Every Tuesday and Thursday I drop new instrumentals, and then I'm also going to be dropping videos like this every once in a while, giving advice to recording artists like yourself to help you with your career. If there's anything you have questions about when it comes to recording music, definitely go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I might just cover it in the next video. Have a great day.